just starting right now on my mega meatballs. They're mega because I'm using 2 pounds of meat. I've got some ground pork right here, and we're only gonna make 8 meatballs out of it, so it's gonna kind of be like quarter-pounder meatballs. But it's not gonna be like a burger because I don't just have beef, but I've got the ground pork, and my beef is ground round. Now, it's not the 80-20 ground chuck, a little less expensive, which is great, and it's a little bit more lean if you kind of look at it right now. Less white fat, more red meat, and it's about 85-15, perfect for the meatballs. It's gonna still maintain its moisture. It's just gonna make it all nice and meaty for your guy or your chick. All right, so some parsley is gonna go in. A nice little snatch off the bunch. And then I've got a lot of garlic over here. Now, if you're having someone come over, I say this is the way to phone it in. You can totally go get the garlic. It's like pre-chopped in the jar and pull some out because we're using a lot. All right, in here, just a little bit of garlic, maybe a little bit more. And then I'm gonna get in some Parmesan and some breadcrumbs. The Parmesan is really good adding some salt content. Plus, I like to think about it when it cooks, it melts slightly and it's gonna help be a little bit of a glue, but we're gonna add some binding agents in a quick second. And then some plain breadcrumbs. I already put some parsley in. No need for the Italian breadcrumbs or anything like that. You can make it your own. Right into the bowl. And then to add a little bit more flavor, some onion powder is gonna go in as well. And then I'm gonna add in some dry rubbed sage. Let me tell you, I love sage. I love nothing more than having some leftover beef and seasoning it up for the next morning so I can have some sausage. And this is the first thing I go to is sage. Just rub it a little bit, bring it back to life, and get it right into the bowl. A little bit of salt, a nice little bit. Always say about a teaspoon of salt per pound, so 2 nice heavy pinches, but not so much because you're thinking about the Parmesan that's in there. A little bit of black pepper. A couple of eggs are gonna go in. They're gonna really help pull this all together so your meatballs don't fall apart and become ground beef and pork in your pan. Really quick, get my whisk here and whisk it together. You know, I'm making mega ones, you know, 8 out of 2 pounds. But if you have a lot of time on your hands, you can always go ahead and make those little teeny weeny ones. Those are cute too, but you know, I'm having a guy over and it's really nice. I love to kind of like make their eyes pop, you know, when they see things. And a big old meatball or two over a bowl of spaghetti with homemade marinara sauce is where it's at. All right, so now it's time to work on my meatballs. Just gonna go in here, make a dividing line, and then another dividing line, and that cuts it into 4, and so I know each of these sections is gonna make 2. Let me roll one out right now. Perfect. All right, this is my perfect meatball. Gonna get it right into my pan here. Let me just finish all the rest. All right, so now let me show you what I'm looking for here on my meatball. This is good. This is really good. Time to turn, time to turn. So just give it a nice little nudge over. Check the bottom. This is gonna be so good. So I'm gonna make my spicy spaghetti sauce right here. I've got my pan, I'm gonna preheat it, a little bit of olive oil in, and then half of a green bell pepper. And then I'm gonna get in half of my onion here. You can use a sweet onion or a Spanish onion, either works. I just love sweet onions. Right into my pan to sweat. All right, let me go ahead and season this up. A little bit of salt so it can sweat out nicely. I'm not going for color here, I'm just going for a nice translucent onion. Move this around. Let me get some garlic in here as well. All right, so I'm just gonna move these around. Remember, nice medium low, just going for translucent. My oven is preheated to 350 degrees. It's only gonna take about 15 minutes more for them to get to the completely done mark. It'll be nice and moist on the inside. It's a good time to just start adding some flavor to my sweated onions and my green bell pepper. Just a little bit of olive oil and salt. And now I'm adding some dried oregano to the mix. This is the dry heat. Kind of think about Arizona or Vegas, Nevada. And this is the wet heat here, my hot sauce, kind of like Miami or New Orleans. It's so, so hot and humid down there. All right, now a full can of whole tomatoes in their juices right into your pan. And I'm gonna break it up with my wooden spatula here. I'm gonna turn this up, and this is it. I'm gonna let this kind of simmer and bubble, and all the flavors are gonna come together. Look at that. Nice and chunky.